Hi, and thanks for tuning into my Feldenkrais channel. Today, we will be doing the awareness through movement lesson. The carriage of the head affects the state of the musculature. In this lesson, you will study the dependence of all the muscles in your body on the work of the muscles of the head and neck. Find a quiet place where you can lie comfortably on your belly and on your back. Please lie on your stomach. Place the palms of your hands on the floor, one on top of the other, so that you can rest your forehead on them. Now raise your feet from the floor by bending the knees and lean one foot against the other. Your knees will form approximately a right angle with the thighs, and they are wide apart. The soles of the feet will be facing the ceiling. Now slowly let your legs sink down toward the floor to the right, but without allowing the left knee to rise from the floor. In order to make this possible, the left foot must slide along the right ankle and leg, while the right foot approaches the ground. Then slowly let the legs come back to the beginning position. The left leg will slide back along the right leg, past the ankle, to come to rest next to the right foot. Repeat these movements several times and observe through which parts of your bone structure the turning movement is passed on from the legs to the vertebrae of the neck. Observe which of your elbows is pulled somewhat down farther in the direction of the legs during the movement to the right, and how this elbow returns to its original position as the feet return to the middle. The movement of the elbow is quite small, but large enough to be noticeable. Rest for a moment on your belly or on your side. Come back to your front. Place your left palm on the back of your right hand. Turn your head to the left and let your right ear and right cheek rest on your hands. Again, bend the knees as before, with the knees wide apart and the feet leaning against one another. And let your legs slowly sink to the right again. And then slowly let them come back to the middle as you did before. And repeat this action various times. As you do this, observe your ribs in front and note the growing pressure on one side of the breastbone as your legs go down to the right. With every leg movement, follow its effects from vertebra to vertebra in the direction of the head. And check whether the turning movement is regular, or whether whole groups of vertebrae move together in some sections instead of moving one after the other. Also notice if your leg movement became larger now your head is turned to the left. Leave it. Slowly roll onto your back and rest. Notice any changes in your trunk and its contact with the floor. Slowly turn your head from right to left several times as it keeps resting on the floor, and observe if there is any difference between rolling it to the left or to the right side. If your face turns to the right more easily, more smoothly, and in a wider arc than to the left, or is it turning less well? Roll to your stomach again. Place the palm of the left hand on the right hand. Turn your head to the right so that the left ear and cheek are resting on the top hand. Bend the knees again and have the legs as before. Knees apart, feet leaning against one another. Now slowly begin to let the legs sink to the right again. The left foot sliding along the right as before. And slowly bring them back to the middle again. And repeat this. Observe whether the degree of twist in the spine is larger or smaller now. Whether it's easier or more difficult to move the legs sideways. And whether turning the head to the right tends to obstruct or help the leg movement. As you continue doing this movement, imagine a finger traveling along your spine from the tailbone to the base of the skull, stopping to mark each separate vertebra on the way. Notice the moment in the movement at which your lungs fill with air. Is it while your legs return to the middle, or when your legs are sinking to the right? For an easier, more extensive twist, try to breathe out as you bring your legs to the right, so your chest is empty and your rib muscles can relax. Let go of the movement, slowly roll onto your back and rest. Now slowly roll to one side. Come to sit. And slowly come up to standing. And walk around a little. And as you're walking, observe the different feeling in the movements of the head, the erect position of the trunk, the control of your legs and your breathing, and the position of your pelvis. Do you feel a difference in the feeling between the right and the left eye? Come back to the floor and rest on your stomach. Again, place your hands on top of one another. Rest your forehead on them. Have your legs bend as before. And a few times just bring both legs to the right and see how far they go now. Did this movement get easier? Smoother? Leave it. Rest a moment on your belly with your legs long and rehearse in your mind all the different movements we have practiced in this lesson. We started with the forehead on the hands and the legs going to the right. Then we went to the left palm on the right hand and your face turned to the left and your legs going to the right. And then we had the hands the same, but the head facing to the right and the legs going to the right. Now work through all the positions with your legs moving to the left, but only in your mind. Imagine the sensation of these movements in your muscles and bones, going just so far as to tense the muscles slightly, but not making any visible movement. You only have to think of doing each movement around 5 times. You probably have to really count in order not to daydream away, because it's difficult to concentrate without any action. Rest after every 5 imaginary movements. And as you're doing this, slowly you will become aware of a strange sensation. Very unfamiliar to most. You will get a clearer picture of your self-image. Here the new image concerns mainly muscles and skeletal structure. If you've done all the actions in your imagination to the left, put one hand on top of the other, rest your forehead on the hands, bend the knees and have the feet leaning against one another and the knees are apart. And now a few times easily let the legs go down toward the right and then come back to the center. And then a few times to the left and bring them back to the center. And observe on which side the movement is better. On the side on which you did so much practicing, or on the other one. Let go of the movement and rest. Thanks for joining this lesson, and I hope I see you again in the next lesson. If you liked the lesson, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel.